The 1969 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny is one of those fascinating treasures in American coinage that many people overlook. Yet within the world of numismatics, it holds a position of great respect and recognition, particularly when found in excellent condition. To understand why this coin carries a market value today of around $2,900, it is essential to explore not only its historical roots, but also the factors that make it stand apart from the millions of ordinary cents struck in that same year. The Lincoln Memorial design itself was introduced in 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and was intended to modernize the cent while still paying homage to one of America's most iconic presidents. Designed by Frank Gasparro, the reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And what made this design especially symbolic was the small but significant detail of Lincoln's seated statue visible between the columns, meaning that the president appeared on both sides of the coin for the first time in U.S. history. For collectors, coins from the early years of the memorial design hold a special appeal because they reflect a fresh chapter in American numismatic art, bridging the wheat cent era that began in 1909 with a new vision meant to resonate with the modern post-war nation. The 1969 no-mint mark cent was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time followed the tradition of not using mint marks on 1-cent coins. But while that may seem ordinary, the true value of this piece lies in how well examples have survived and the significance attached to this specific date in the Lincoln series. Millions upon millions of cents were struck in 1969 and entered circulation immediately, where they were used heavily in everyday commerce, which meant that most were quickly worn down and carried the marks of countless transactions. Finding one today in pristine, mint state condition is far more challenging than it appears, because most of these coins endured years of handling, environmental damage, or were simply lost to time. This scarcity of high-grade survivors is precisely why collectors are willing to pay such impressive sums, with the best examples selling for as much as $2,900 in auctions or private sales. The coin's composition is another layer of its historical story. Made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, these pre-1982 cents have a tangible heft and warmth that later copper-plated zinc issues lack, and this distinction makes them especially cherished by traditionalists who lament the decline of solid copper coinage. For many collectors, holding a 1969 no-mint mark penny in hand is not just about appreciating its monetary worth, but about experiencing a piece of Americana that evokes memories of a time when a single penny still had meaningful purchasing power. Furthermore, the date 1969 carries extra significance in U.S. history. It was the year of the Apollo 11 moon landing, a symbol of human achievement and national pride. And although this connection is not directly tied to the coin itself, collectors often like to contextualize their coins within the events of the era, giving them a sense of living history. The artistry of Frank Gasparro's work, while criticized by some for lacking the charm of the wheat cent design, nonetheless represents a technical achievement in capturing an architectural monument with such fine detail on a coin barely 19 millimeters across. This design remained in use for more than 5 decades, but early strikes like the 1969 issue are recognized as foundational pieces for collectors building complete memorial cent sets. Market demand for these coins is also fueled by the growing appreciation for condition rarity, as coin grading services such as NGC and PCGS have taught collectors to recognize the immense difference in value between a coin that is simply uncirculated and one that achieves a high mint state grade, such as MS65 or higher. A 1969 no-mint mark cent graded at this level is scarce enough to ignite bidding wars among registry set competitors who aim to build the finest known collections, and the $2,900 market value reflects these dynamics. Beyond grading, the coin's desirability also stems from the nostalgia factor. Baby boomers who grew up in the late 1960s often feel a connection to coins from their childhood. And this emotional pull translates into collector demand that keeps values strong. When compared to later dates in the series, the 1969 no mint mark penny demonstrates how early memorial cents can sometimes surprise collectors with significant worth, reminding us never to underestimate the humble 1-cent piece. It is also a teaching tool, often used by numismatic educators to show new collectors that patience, attention to detail, and an understanding of market trends can turn even a common-seeming coin into a valuable discovery. Many stories circulate in the collecting community of individuals who pulled such coins out of old jars, inherited collections, or even pocket change, only to later discover their unexpected value once they were properly graded and appraised. The enduring lesson is that rarity does not always mean low mintage. Sometimes rarity is defined by survival in high quality. The 1969 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny embodies this principle perfectly, offering collectors a tangible reward for diligence and knowledge. For serious numismatists, adding this coin to a collection is not just about filling a date in a series, but about holding a piece of American history that reflects the artistry, economy, and culture of its time. Its place in the larger narrative of Lincoln cents also cannot be overstated, because together with the surrounding years, it builds the foundation of one of the most widely collected coin series in the world. From children just starting out by searching their pocket change to advanced specialists assembling top-tier sets, the Lincoln cent appeals across generations, and coins like the 1969 no mint mark penny are at the heart of this enduring fascination. That is why its market value of $2,900 today feels both justified and symbolic. It represents not only a number on a price chart, but also the collective admiration, competition, and passion of thousands of collectors who understand what this small copper piece truly represents. Next up, the 1970 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny is one of those coins that demonstrates how history, scarcity, and condition rarity can dramatically elevate the value of a coin far beyond its face value, making it a prized possession among collectors, even though it was minted in massive numbers during an era of high production. At first glance, this cent might seem like any other common piece from circulation, but as collectors and numismatists know, the survival of coins in pristine condition is what truly determines rarity, not just the total mintage. The 1970 penny minted in Philadelphia, which carried no mint mark, is particularly significant because most examples that entered circulation were used heavily in daily transactions, passed through countless hands, and eventually suffered from wear, scratches, discoloration, and environmental damage. This makes finding one today in near-perfect, uncirculated state an extreme challenge, and that difficulty is directly tied to its market value, which has reached up to $2,600 in recent years. It is fascinating to consider how a 1-cent coin, often ignored or left in jars for decades, can become a highly desirable treasure when its condition sets it apart from the millions of ordinary survivors. This principle, known as condition, rarity, is one of the most important lessons in numismatics, and the 1970 no mint mark penny is a classic example of it. Grading services such as NGC and PCGS play a crucial role in determining the true worth of this coin, as the difference between a coin graded MS-63 and one graded MS-66 or higher can mean thousands of dollars in value. Collectors who pursue top-quality registry sets are especially eager to obtain the finest known examples, and in a competitive marketplace, that demand drives prices upward. The year 1970 itself was an important moment in American history, marked by social, political, and cultural change, and coins from this time carry with them the sense of an era defined by both turbulence and progress. For collectors, this historical context enhances the appeal of owning a coin that was physically present during a time of major national events, from the continuation of the Vietnam War to the rise of new cultural movements. This connection to history adds an intangible layer a value that goes beyond monetary worth, as each coin becomes a silent witness to the events of its year. In addition, the 1970 no mint mark penny stands out because it was part of the generation of cents struck from solid copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gives these coins a tangible weight and durability that later zinc-based issues lack. For modern collectors who appreciate not only the rarity but also the intrinsic material of older coins, this copper composition adds to the desirability of the piece. The nostalgia factor also cannot be overlooked. Many people who grew up in the 1970s now feel drawn to collect coins from their childhood years, and this generational demand has kept the market active for coins like the 1970 no mint mark penny. Stories abound in the collecting world of individuals who have discovered high-grade examples tucked away in inherited collections, bankrolls, or forgotten coin jars, only to later realize that they were holding something far more valuable than they imagined. These discoveries fuel the ongoing interest in Lincoln cents and encourage new generations of collectors to search for treasures in what might otherwise appear to be common coins. The $2,600 market value associated with the 1970 no mint mark penny today reflects a combination of these factors: historical significance, condition rarity, copper composition, generational nostalgia, and collector competition, all working together to elevate the humble cent into a recognized asset in the numismatic market. Auction records confirm that when a top-quality piece surfaces, it rarely goes unnoticed, with bidders driving up the price in hopes of securing a key addition to their collections. In a broader sense, coins like this remind us of the unpredictable nature of collecting, that something as ordinary as a penny can become extraordinary when preserved with care. The challenge of finding one in such exceptional condition also creates excitement in the community, turning the search for these coins into a pursuit filled with anticipation and reward. For the experienced numismatist, the 1970 no mint mark penny is not merely a date to check off in a collection, but a valuable prize that reflects patience, dedication, and knowledge of the marketplace. Its role in the Lincoln cent series further underscores its importance, as each year in the series builds the larger narrative of America's longest-running coinage design, making every date, including 1970, an essential chapter in the story. Unlike modern issues that are often saved in bulk from the moment they are minted, older coins like this were not widely preserved in uncirculated condition, which explains why high-grade survivors are now so rare. Collectors today often turn to third-party graded slabs not only for authenticity and preservation, but also as a means of guaranteeing the quality that justifies the coin's value. A certified 1970 no mint mark penny graded at a high level represents not just a small copper coin, but a recognized asset, tradable in the national and international marketplace of rare coins. For investors who see coins as an alternative asset class, the steady demand for rare Lincoln cents provides confidence that values like the $2,600 price tag for this issue will hold or even rise in the future. What is truly remarkable is that this value exists despite the fact that millions were minted, a clear demonstration that survival in top condition is far more important than raw production figures. For beginners, the 1970 no mint mark penny is a valuable lesson in why it pays to carefully inspect even the most ordinary-seeming coins. For advanced collectors, it is a reminder that assembling a complete set of high-grade memorial cents is a challenging but rewarding endeavor. Ultimately, the 1970 no mint mark penny is not just a coin, it is a reflection of time, memory, and persistence, embodying the journey from everyday pocket change to a coveted collectible worth thousands. Its market value of $2,600 is not an arbitrary number, but the result of decades of appreciation, the passion of collectors, and the undeniable fact that rarity and condition transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Next up, the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial. Penny stands as a fascinating example of how time, condition, and collector demand can elevate an ordinary circulating coin into a highly valuable collectible with a market value reaching as much as $2,400 today, a figure that surprises many outside the numismatic world, who may assume that pennies from the 1970s are too modern or common to carry significant worth. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not include mint marks on 1-cent coins during this period, the 1972 issue was produced in extremely high numbers to support the needs of an economy still heavily reliant on coins for daily transactions. The result was that most of these pennies entered circulation almost immediately, enduring the heavy wear and environmental exposure that comes from years of being passed hand to hand, stored in cash registers, left in pockets, or collected in jars. This intense circulation is the very reason that high-quality survivors are so difficult to locate today. And it is precisely this scarcity in top grades that drives collector interest and ultimately pushes values into the thousands of dollars. When numismatists evaluate a 1972 no-mint mark penny, they are not interested in the millions of average circulated pieces that still exist, but rather in the very small percentage that manage to avoid scratches, discoloration, and loss of sharpness, through some stroke of luck, often by being stored away soon after minting. Coins that fall into this exceptional category, particularly those certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC as mint state 65 or higher, are the ones that collectors chase with determination, knowing how much harder it becomes each year to find such gems as more examples are locked away in long-term collections. The year 1972 itself carries broader historical significance that adds context to this coin's desirability. It was a time of cultural transformation in the United States, with the Vietnam War still ongoing, the Watergate scandal beginning to unfold, and major shifts taking place in music, art, and politics. Coins struck during this period can be seen as tangible witnesses to a pivotal moment in modern American history. And for collectors who value context as much as condition, owning a penny from this year means holding a piece of a story much larger than numismatics alone. Furthermore, the 1972 issue is often associated in collecting circles with its famous doubled die variety, a rare error where the date and lettering appear strongly doubled, which has achieved legendary status among Lincoln cent specialists. While the doubled die version is a distinct and separate coin, its fame has the indirect effect of raising awareness and interest in the 1972 no-mint mark penny overall, since collectors who learn about the error often develop an appreciation for the standard issue as well, recognizing it as part of the same historical narrative. This phenomenon illustrates how market psychology can influence value. Once a date becomes well known for any reason, even the regular strikes can benefit from increased demand. The copper composition of the 1972 penny, 95% copper and 5% zinc, also contributes to its appeal, as coins from this era have a metallic integrity and weight that later zinc-based issues lack. Many collectors prefer these earlier cents not only for their durability, but also for their aesthetic qualities, as copper develops a natural patina over time that enhances the beauty of a well-preserved coin. Beyond composition, the coin also reflects the economic climate of its time. In the early 1970s, inflation was beginning to affect the purchasing power of money in the United States, and while a penny still had value in daily commerce, its role was starting to diminish, a trend that has only accelerated in the decades since. Collectors often reflect on this changing role of the penny when studying coins like the 1972 issue, realizing that they represent the final era when the cent was still widely respected as a useful denomination in everyday transactions. Assembling a complete set of high-grade memorial cents is a task that demands patience, persistence, and often significant financial investment, and the 1972 no-mint mark penny is one of those dates that can present a challenge for even experienced collectors. Auction records show that when a superb example comes to market, it can spark bidding wars between collectors who recognize the opportunity to secure a rare condition rarity for their registry sets. And these competitive dynamics are what push values into the $2,400 range and beyond. The emotional side of collecting also plays a role in this demand. Many collectors who grew up in the 1970s have a nostalgic connection to the coins of their childhood, and adding a top-quality 1972 penny to their collections allows them to preserve a tangible piece of their personal history. This nostalgia-driven demand helps keep the market strong, ensuring that values remain robust even during times of broader economic fluctuation. Stories from the collecting community highlight how such coins are often discovered by chance, tucked away in old boxes or rolls, waiting to be recognized for their true worth. For beginners, these stories serve as powerful encouragement to keep searching, while for seasoned numismatists, they underscore the importance of never underestimating the potential of even the smallest coin. The 1972 no mint mark penny, with its value of $2,400 in top condition, is a vivid reminder that numismatics is not simply about the metal or the face value, but about rarity, history, and the human stories that give coins meaning. It stands as proof that an item as small and humble as a penny can carry immense significance when placed within the right context, and for those who own one in superb condition, it is not just a piece of money, but a cherished artifact that embodies the resilience of copper coinage, the complexities of American history, and the enduring passion of the collecting community. In this way, the 1972 no mint mark penny continues to shine not only as a financial asset worth thousands of dollars, but as a cultural treasure that binds together generations of collectors in their shared pursuit of discovery and preservation. Next up, the 1974 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, though seemingly just another cent from everyday circulation, is a coin that has steadily gained attention within the numismatic community due to its rarity and well-preserved condition, its connection to a transformative era in U.S. economic and cultural history, and its present-day market value, which has reached levels as high as $2,200, a remarkable figure considering its humble face value of 1 cent. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint in a time when no identifying mint mark was placed on pennies, the 1974 issue was produced in enormous quantities to meet the coinage demands of the nation. But what collectors value today is not the sheer number struck, but the fact that very few have survived the passage of decades in a state that sets them apart from the common worn examples that still appear in circulation. Most pennies of this period entered commerce quickly and were subjected to years of heavy use, abrasion, discoloration, and mishandling, leaving behind coins that tell the story of daily transactions but no longer meet the standard of desirability that serious collectors seek. The small fraction that avoided circulation altogether or were carefully set aside at the time of issue are the examples that today command thousands of dollars, as scarcity in condition, rather than scarcity in mintage, defines the true rarity of this coin. Beyond rarity, the 1974 penny represents the final years of an era in which the 1 cent coin still held meaningful purchasing power in the United States. By the mid-1970s, inflation was steadily eroding the real value of small denominations, yet the penny remained an essential part of commerce, appearing in cash registers, vending machines, and everyday transactions across the country. For collectors who look back on this period, the 1974 issue is a nostalgic reminder of a time when cents still played a visible role in daily life. The composition of the coin also adds to its appeal, as it was struck in the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy, giving it both a material value and a distinctive feel compared to the later copper-plated zinc issues introduced in 1982. This heavier, more durable copper composition is one of the reasons coins from this era hold such an attraction for traditional collectors, as they not only represent a different era in American history, but also embody a higher intrinsic worth through their metal content. Historically, 1974 was a year filled with dramatic events that shaped the United States, from the growing Watergate scandal that would eventually lead to the resignation of President Richard Nixon to the ongoing challenges of inflation, energy shortages, and shifting cultural values. A coin minted in this year becomes more than just a piece of currency. It becomes a small artifact that connects collectors to the broader context of American society at the time. Holding a 1974 no-mint mark penny is like holding a silent witness to a year of political upheaval, economic challenge, and cultural change. And for collectors who value history as much as rarity, this adds another layer of meaning to the pursuit of such coins. Stories from collectors often highlight how these valuable pennies have been discovered unexpectedly, tucked away in coin jars, inherited collections, or forgotten rolls, where they remained for decades before being recognized for their significance. The joy of such discoveries is one of the driving forces behind the hobby, and the 1974 penny is a perfect example of how everyday coins can transform into prized possessions when their true value is revealed. The market value of $2,200 attached to this issue is not merely a reflection of rarity, but also of demand, as the Lincoln Cent series remains one of the most widely collected in the world. Generations of collectors, from beginners searching through pocket change to seasoned specialists assembling complete sets, have contributed to the ongoing demand for high-quality examples of each date in the series, and the 1974 no-mint mark penny benefits directly from this universal appeal. Another factor that enhances its desirability is the fact that many collectors aim to build complete date runs of memorial cents, making every year, including 1974, essential to completing the set. This universal demand ensures that even a seemingly ordinary year like 1974 can achieve extraordinary value when scarcity in top condition intersects with the persistence of collector interest. Beyond the numbers, however, there is also an emotional dimension to collecting coins like the 1974 penny. For many, it is a piece that recalls childhood memories of receiving change at a candy store, collecting coins in small folders, or being taught the value of money by parents and grandparents. This nostalgia is powerful, and it motivates collectors to seek out the very best examples of coins that connect them to their personal pasts. The copper penny in particular, with its warm, reddish tone and solid feel, has become an enduring symbol of American coinage, and coins from the mid-1970s, such as this issue, are now recognized as both financial investments and cultural icons. Auction records and private sales consistently confirm that when an exceptional 1974 no-mint mark penny is offered, collectors are willing to pay handsomely to secure it, and this enthusiasm is unlikely to diminish given the coin's unique combination of historical context, rarity in condition, and enduring role in one of the most beloved coin series ever produced. What is remarkable is that despite the millions struck, the number of coins capable of attracting such prices is only a tiny fraction of the total mintage, reinforcing the idea that true rarity often lies not in how many were made, but in how many have survived in extraordinary condition. For this reason, the 1974 no-mint mark penny serves as an enduring lesson to collectors at all levels, reminding them that coins of real value can emerge from the most unexpected places if only one has the knowledge and patience to recognize them. In the end, this penny is more than just currency. It is a fragment of America's story, encapsulating the challenges and triumphs of a nation in the mid-1970s, while also serving as a symbol of how the smallest and most overlooked objects can carry immense value when viewed through the lens of numismatics. Its market value of $2,200 today reflects not only the strength of the coin market, but also the passion of collectors who see in this small copper piece a connection to history, heritage, and the joy of discovery. Next up, the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny is one of those fascinating coins that demonstrates how the combination of history, condition rarity, and collector enthusiasm can transform the most common-looking piece of pocket change into a collectible worth thousands of dollars, with market prices reaching as high as $1,900 today. Struck in Philadelphia at a time when pennies bore no mint mark, the 1976 issue is especially significant because of the year in which it was produced, the United States bicentennial year, celebrating 200 years of American independence. While the penny itself did not receive a special commemorative design like the quarter, half dollar, and dollar did, its association with such a landmark national celebration gives it an added aura of historical importance that has not gone unnoticed by collectors. Millions were minted and distributed widely for use in everyday commerce. But like many coins of the era, most were subjected to extensive circulation, wear, and eventual damage. It is not the existence of these countless circulated pieces that drives the market today, but rather the rarity of examples that manage to avoid the scratches, fading, and discoloration that inevitably came with daily use. Only a very small fraction of the 1976 no-mint mark pennies were preserved in pristine condition, and it is this survival rarity that gives the coin its impressive value. For collectors, the allure of the 1976 penny lies not only in its scarcity, in superb preservation, but also in the fact that it serves as a small, tangible reminder of America's bicentennial celebrations, a year filled with patriotic pride, historical reflection, and cultural milestones. Many collectors who lived through that year recall vividly the national events, parades, and commemorations that marked the country's 200th birthday, and owning a coin from that time provides a powerful connection to those memories. Even younger generations of collectors who did not experience 1976 firsthand recognize the symbolic weight of a coin struck during such a defining year, and this recognition adds to its long-term desirability. The composition of the 1976 penny, like others of its era, was 95% copper and 5% zinc, making it part of the final decade of solid copper cents before the transition to copper-plated zinc in 1982. For collectors, this copper content adds another dimension of appeal, as these coins have both historical and intrinsic value, standing apart from the lighter and less durable zinc issues of later years. The copper not only provides a richer appearance and heavier feel, but also develops natural tones and patina over time, enhancing the aesthetic of well-preserved coins. Within the world of Lincoln cent collecting, the 1976 issue has become one of those dates that collectors look for when building a complete set of memorial cents. And because it represents a year of immense historical significance, it often carries a slightly elevated interest compared to surrounding dates. While the penny itself did not feature a commemorative motif, its simple presence in everyday life during the bicentennial year ensures its place as a silent participant in the celebrations, passing through the hands of Americans who were part of parades, concerts, fireworks displays, and countless patriotic events. Collectors today appreciate this silent witness aspect, viewing the coin as a small artifact of a time when national pride was at a peak and the country was reflecting on its long journey since independence. Market demand for the 1976 no-mint mark penny in high quality is consistent and competitive, as those who pursue Lincoln cents know that every year is necessary to complete a collection, and certain dates like 1976 carry special significance. This universal demand is why values reach well $900 for the best survivors, as collectors recognize that the opportunity to secure a near-perfect example is rare. Beyond pure numismatic interest, there is also a generational nostalgia at play. Those who were children or young adults in 1976 often recall seeing these pennies in circulation and may now wish to preserve them as a way of holding on to a piece of their past. This emotional attachment translates into market demand, ensuring that values remain strong and likely to increase in the future. Auction records confirm that collectors are willing to pay a premium when a remarkable example of the 1976 penny surfaces, often sparking competitive bidding that pushes prices far beyond initial estimates. The $1,900 market value is therefore not simply a reflection of metal content or rarity, but a testament to the intersection of history, memory, and collector passion. The stories behind how such coins are discovered further enhance their mystique. Many have been found hidden away in old rolls, boxes, or jars, where they remained untouched for decades, waiting to be recognized for their true worth. These discoveries remind collectors that treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places, and the 1976 penny is a shining example of how persistence and knowledge can turn an overlooked coin into a valuable prize. For those building long-term collections, adding this coin represents both an investment and an accomplishment, as it combines rarity with historical weight in a way few other modern coins can. The 1976 no mint mark penny also serves as an educational piece, teaching new collectors that numismatics is not only about gold and silver or ancient rarities, but also about recognizing the hidden potential in the smallest denominations. It challenges assumptions and highlights how condition, history, and demand all converge to create value. For seasoned collectors, it stands as a reminder that even common coins from their youth may today be worth far more than they ever imagined, provided they have survived in exceptional state. The coin is therefore not only an object of financial worth, but also an emblem of patience, persistence, and historical appreciation. As time passes and fewer uncirculated examples remain available, the 1976 penny's importance is likely to grow even further, cementing its status as a key date within the Memorial Cent series. Its value of $1,900 today is the result of decades of interest, careful preservation by some, and the unrelenting desire of collectors to connect with the past through coins. Ultimately, the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny is far more than a piece of copper. It is a compact story of America in its bicentennial year, a reflection of the era's pride and challenges, and a symbol of how even the humblest coin can become a cherished collectible when viewed through the lens of numismatics.